What's up guys, it's Dekkster here, and the nerfs have finally been announced and they're going to be released August 26th, which is Monday. It's surprisingly quick. I thought it'd be a little bit further out than that, but thank goodness that they're acting quick on this. I had a lot of people in my stream asking me what I thought of the card changes, so I thought I'd just throw out this quick video. But generally, my overall sentiment is that I'm quite happy that they're changing the game at all. Just shaking up the meta, having an unsolved meta is something that I really do appreciate. I know for a lot of people it might be a little bit frustrating if you invested a lot of dust in one of these decks and then it got changed and now you don't have, you know, like a strong deck like you used to. Like, although you do get the full refund for these nerfed cards, it weakens your deck, right? Just in general. So I can see people being upset about that, but as someone with a larger collection, you probably you just like change in general. Anyways, let's look at this Mage nerf. We got Conjurer's Calling going from 3 mana to 4 mana. Other than that, it is exactly the same. Now this actually seems like a big deal. I'm glad they're finally nerfing Conjurers. People have been, you know, very frustrated by this card since it came out. It just seemed a little bit busted, especially the fact that it was a twin spell. I think this would be ran even if it wasn't a twin spell at 3 mana. At 4 mana, I think it's in a pretty good spot. It definitely slows down when your opponent can destroy their giants. If they want to do double conjures, it's not like they could do it on turn 5 anymore with a coin. They can't do it on 6. They have to wait a little bit longer, you know, turn 7 with a coin or turn 8. So that definitely slows them down, allows the aggro decks to kind of break in and crack the mages before they, you know, finally turn the corner. A really huge deal about this is it can no longer be found by Magic Trick, which I'm so happy about because that was incredibly frustrating. If you're trying to play around the mage, you've baited out their Conjurer's Callings, and then they just find another one with a Magic Trick that you couldn't really play around because you can't really play around it coming out of a Magic Trick. So the fact that this is no longer in the Magic Trick pool is probably what I'm most excited about. So yeah, not only does this make Mage a little bit weaker is in the Highlander variant, which has become the most popular and successful Mage build right now, but it also hurts the Cyclone Mage of days past. Like, it's not gonna be as strong. The fact that this is kind of slowing them down a little bit. Maybe if you're gonna pop off with the Cyclone, you know, you have 1 less mana. So yeah, very happy about this change. Pocket Galaxy going from 5 to 7. Now this, they completely reverted it from the 5 to the 7. If you guys should remember, it was originally 7 and got buffed to 5. So the fact that Blizzard has just removed their buff is something I think a lot of people did not expect. I think a lot of people were thinking, oh, like Blizzard, they're not going to, you know, admit they made a mistake, and here they are admitting they made a mistake. It was a little bit too strong. It never saw play at 7. It saw too much play at 5 and was very frustrating to play against. So I think the fact that it's going back to 7, we're probably not going to see this anymore. Maybe it still makes the cut in some Highlander Mage builds, but I don't know. I'm actually quite curious to see how that plays out, but the fact that it's getting hit by 2 mana is huge. I do think Pocket Galaxy Mages already struggled against aggro decks. Like, I was playing a token druid, aggro rogue, all these things that could set up a ton of pressure around that turn 5 and kind of play around the Pocket Galaxy. They already had a great chance against Mage, so I think this hits Mage quite a bit. So does this mean that there's not going to be as much Highlander Mage anymore, and now there's going to be more Cyclone Mage maybe? I'm not really sure because the Conjurer's Calling nerf does hit Cyclone pretty hard, I think. So I'm excited to see how these nerfs play out for Mage. I still think Mage is going to be very strong because, you know, playing against mages, sometimes they don't get Pocket Galaxy and they still do pretty well. Glad this got nerfed though. I don't want to see this card too often. It is very frustrating to, you know, play against somebody and they just they play this card and then they top deck Alex and boom, you're dead. So yeah, glad this is gone. Maybe it would have been okay at 6 mana, maybe still a little bit played, but again, a little slow for those aggro decks. But if it was 6 mana and it still felt bad to play against and they had to nerf it again, like they had to do with Quest Rogue so many times. Maybe that's something they were trying to avoid. Maybe that's why they put it back at 7. All right, so we got Dr. Boom, Mad Genius here, going from 7 mana to 9 mana. Now, this is not the nerf I was expecting. I think a lot of people wanted a little more damage done to this card because it still seems very strong as a 9-drop. The main thing here being that later on, maybe if you got Boom on turn 9, you can't play Boom and use the upgraded hero power in the same turn in addition to a shield slam. Now it's 9 mana. It's gonna eat a whole turn. It does give you 7 armor, so that's still a huge deal. I wish they would have lowered that or maybe just removed it. But on turn 10, you can only use this and a shield slam. So it does help a little bit, but I feel like it doesn't help enough. I think every control warrior is going to remain exactly how it is right now. They're still gonna run this card. This nerf is not really gonna do anything, and this is still gonna be frustrating to play against. I do think they could have done a couple more things, maybe removing the rushes from the mechs, maybe toning down the armor from the random hero powers, maybe just toning down the 7 armor gain here, maybe even to 5. Like maybe if they made it 9 mana and only 5 armor, because they did kind of steer away from the Dr. 7 thing, right? Dr. Boom's always had 7. The original Dr. Boom was 7 mana 7/7. The new Blastmaster Boom also is 7 mana 7/7, and this was a 7 mana gain 7 armor, and that's kind of a theme they've obviously moved away from now that it's 9 mana. So why not knock the armor down a little bit? Or even, what if they made it 9 mana with 9 armor and just removed the hero power that gave them 7 armor or something like that? I think they just could have touched this card a little bit more, but we'll see how it plays out. Maybe this will be enough to allow aggro to you know, sneak in a couple more turns in order to win, but I doubt it. All right, so we got extra arms here going back to 3 mana, similar to Luna's Pocket Galaxy. This was one of the buffed cards that they're now reverting. It used to be at 3 mana and it rarely ever saw play. I think it mostly saw play in recurring villain priest decks. At least that's where I was playing it most, and it was a lot of fun, but at 3 mana it felt a little bit slow. At 2 mana it felt a little bit busted though, because it ended up just being a better Blessing of Kings, which is just a huge card already. And the fact that you could play it on 2, you know, play it on your Cleric, play it on your Light Warden, this card just felt busted. I am quite glad that they didn't nerf maybe Divine and Inner Fire. They already took Mind Blast away from Priest, so if they took away Divine Spirit or Inner Fire, it might hurt the class a little bit too much. So I'm glad Extra Arms is the kid who's dying today. They could have touched Cleric a little bit. Cleric is busted. Maybe bump it to 2 mana, maybe drop it to 2 health. Who knows? One of these changes might still be done in the future. I think one of the main questions here is if Combo Priest is still going to be one of the top decks, and I still think it's going to be very, very strong. I'm not sure Extra Arms is still going to be ran in it. I definitely think it's going to be tested initially to see if it's still worth, but Extra Arms on 2 definitely bumped up the win rate a ton for the archetype. So at 3 mana, it's possible this gets cut, but I do think Combo Priest has so many good tools that were added to it that this is not the only thing that made it feel busted. You know, a Met, Psychopomp, Ritualist, those all feel huge, and the injured Tol'Vir. So yeah, I think Combo Priest is still going to stick around. It just might get knocked down a few percentages, but in general, I'm happy with this nerf, and I still feel like Priest is very well positioned. All right, so another change here, we got Barnes. I don't play Wild, so I can't really speak on this, but I know Barnes is something that people have complained about for a while, and it seems like they're nerfing this a little bit late. I'm not really sure. 1 mana does seem like it would slow it down quite a bit, but again, I'm even told in my chat that big Priest players still play their decks even without Barnes. So is this gonna really make a big impact? I'm not sure. Once again, not a Wild player. All right, so maybe some meta predictions here. I do feel like Hunter is going to take that top spot. If you look on HS Replay, you can already see that Hunter's kind of creeping up there in popularity and in win rate as it gets more and more refined. And the fact that all these other decks are getting hit, but Highlander Hunter is not getting touched at all, it's a little bit scary. I think Highlander Hunter will be tier 1, so I'm definitely predicting that. I do think Aggro Rogue is also very, very good. And with these nerfs, again, not touching Rogue at all, I think Rogue's going to be well positioned in the meta. Zoo seems like it might be pretty good as well. And then, I don't know, maybe I'm too hyped on all the Token Druid I've been playing recently, but I feel like if there's a lot of Hunter, I have like almost a 90% win rate against Hunter with Token Druid. So I'm excited to play that a little bit more. But yeah, mostly scared about Hunter. Maybe they're going to have to nerf him in a couple months or something like that, because I do feel like they're just going to shoot through through the roof. But that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed my thoughts on these cards. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Did you think they nerfed stuff enough? Do you think they missed some cards? If you liked the video, hit it with the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to follow my Twitch if you aren't yet. I do stream there regularly. Good luck on ladder and stay hydrated.